I'm gonna come out and say it. Slenderman's a weird character to discuss. For one, he's the face of creepypastas, basically internet folklore stories, but he's also got a huge presence in the horror gaming sphere as well. You might be wondering how we'll do this video, considering Slenderman has so many interpretations. However, that's what I wish to focus on. What makes a good Slenderman story, and what makes Slenderman Slenderman? This video may get incoherent, but for the most part we'll be focusing on the 2009 story, the Slender duology, and Marble Hornets. Let's not waste any more time and get started. So I kind of lied a little. The 2009 story are actually two photoshopped images. The first consists of a playground with children gazing at a man with no face and tentacles. The caption for this image states that 14 children vanished shortly after this image was taken, meaning this thing was probably not there for good intent. The caption also gives this creature a name, the Slenderman. The other image shows people running away from the beast, this time showing his manly chest. The caption states A, this creature is very quiet, and B, it has a calming presence to it. And so, there we have it. There is everything to gain from these two images. Now, despite these images coming from an obscure website for an even more obscure contest, these images spread like wildfire, Slenderman becoming the internet's Bigfoot in a sense. People came up with their stories and interpretations of the character. I'll briefly state Marble Hornets, a nearly 9-hour series about Slenderman. I won't go into it too much, but it does seem to establish some of the tropes of Slenderman, like warping cameras and hanging around in forests. It's also worth noting because it released just 10 days after the original images were created. I bet this series also boosted Slenderman in popularity, but it's only getting an honorable mention because for the most part, I don't want to watch 9 hours of content just for this silly little video, but from the little I've watched of it, it is a well-done series, just one I don't want to watch a full series of. Anyway, like I said, the success of both of the 2009 images and Marble Hornets led to people make their own story, leading to arguably the most popular pieces of Slenderman media, the Slender duology. When I say every gaming YouTuber has talked or played one of these games, I mean that. From Markiplier to Ballistic Squid to Arlo to Queso. Even MatPat, but his thumbnail doesn't look like this, so it's automatically bad. I cannot understress how popular this game is, and how many YouTubers played it. The only other game I can think of that was this popular is FNAF, and all of these other games I conveniently forgot to put in the script. But anyway, time to cover Slenderman's role in these games. We'll be focusing on the Arrival more, because that's the more story-driven game, but I'll bring up 8 pages when needed. Basically, Slendy's whole thing here is just to ruin people's lives and either kill them or turn them into proxies. The story with Kate being the most interesting, as after going into the woods one night, she found 8 drawings of him scattered around. She'd recreate these drawings until meeting him and turning into a proxy of him. A good friend of Kate's, Lauren, went to look for her, only to be killed by one of Slenderman's other proxies, CR. One thing I love about these two games is how perfectly it captures the feeling of being watched. Little sounds of the ambience, and even catching glimpses of Slendy watching you. It's like, no matter what, you're not safe. But yeah, that's really about it. You can really see how much inspiration this duology it takes from Marble Hornets, and from the pages being recreations of the drawings in the show, to how cameras react to Slenderman, to how proxies usually wear hoods, though that could just be a coincidence. So, taking all this account, where does this leave Slenderman now? Well, considering how popular Slenderman was, where does that leave him now, as I said? Well, the creators of the original duology went on to remake The Arrival, and are planning to make a 3rd game. And the writers of Marble Hornets have since tried to make spin-offs of the series, but nobody's really taken interest of Slenderman since the 2 movies that released. One that made by Sony in 2015, and one made by the Marble Hornets creators in 2015. Well, I haven't seen either of these films. The biggest complaint is they don't get what people liked about Slenderman at all. Again, haven't seen these films, but they probably are huge culprits in stealing the coffin for this character. Well, with that said, let's end off this video by putting him on the tier list. So, with all that said, where does put Slenderman on that tier list? Well, what I like about him is that feeling of being watched. In Marble Hornets, you can gaslight yourself easily into thinking he's in a scene when he really isn't. So it gets all the more terrifying when he does show up, which also holds true with game duology. The addition of Proxy is also added to his character, in my opinion. People who know more about him and work with him, almost like a cult in a sense. I think one thing I also like about the found footage style of this, I also like is the found footage style of the series. Overall, I think when leaning more into the being watched feeling is where Slenderman's at his best. So, to factor in everything, I think he's a B, and his proxy Kate is C. Thanks for watching, and if I'm ever doing a creepypasta villain again, I'm doing Herobrine.